Hello and welcome to The Hero Spouse. I'm Kendra Ruth, here to answer one of your questions about marriage and midlife crisis. Today we have a female left behind and forward-moving spouse with a bomb drop of July 12th, 2018, a date of marriage of 2002. He is a boomerang and a low-energy wallower. She says, being an LBS, I find it interesting to hear what my brother says to understand the MLCer's mind. He's also having a midlife crisis, but not as bad as my husband's. He says that his view on the relationship with his alienator has changed over time. About 2.5 years ago, he wanted to leave his wife for her, but he stayed at home, and now he is really chosen for his marriage. But he still keeps in touch with the alienator, and his wife doesn't know. He says that she enriches his life, and he values her and the conversations they have. But their relationship no longer forms a threat to his marriage. She's just a good friend now. And this is key and important. She's also chosen to stay in her marriage. So as an aside, what we're looking at is two people who are married having an affair with each other, and they may have both been in midlife crisis. Sometimes we see that, but it's more common that the other person isn't usually married or has already left. So let's go on. He regrets the history. His wife knew he was in love with the alienator because now this relationship is no longer innocent. And he wishes that his wife could be just open to them just being friends, but he understands that it is not possible. My question, is pure friendship with the alienator really possible? How can this work? So this is actually a really big question, because I think what we're looking at isn't about possible. I mean, it's possible I'm going to win the lottery because somebody will have to give me a ticket. I don't buy them. So the probability was already low if I bought a ticket, but it just went way down, didn't it? So sure, it's possible. Let's look at, is it probable? Now, and there's a few different reasons why it doesn't work. And the first isn't because they could have an innocent relationship and it be just friends. Yeah. But one of the things he said is incorrect. He said, but the relationship no longer forms a threat to his marriage. It's incorrect, and he knows why. Because you later said he understands why it's not possible. And it's because of his wife. Because she feels threatened or disrespected or both. It is a disrespect to his wife, and showing disrespect to your spouse in that manner is a threat to your marriage. So in that sense, the relationship isn't in an alienating force a threat to the marriage. It's a threat because it's disrespectful if it continues. And that's if a relationship, not it as in the same type of relationship. So let's look. When can a relationship with a former intimate partner not be a threat to your marriage? Okay. You go back to your high school reunion. And let's say it's a 25-year reunion, or so you're, about a 25. You're in your mid-40s. And you, at that reunion, you meet up just like the Garth Brooks song, your high school girlfriend or your high school boyfriend. And you meet, and you are there with your spouse. This former boyfriend, girlfriend is there with their spouse. And maybe you sit at the same table. You're all in stable, loving relationships. You chat, you laugh, and it's a good time. Nothing wrong. And maybe later on you even exchange, and maybe you become good family friends. Maybe you have already been that way with some. The difference is that you have a stable spouse with you and they have a stable spouse with them. Now change the dynamics. You go back to your high school reunion and your former boyfriend, girlfriend is there, but they are single. Maybe they're newly divorced. Maybe they've been divorced for a long time, maybe widowed, whatever. They're single. You're there, and you are with your spouse, but you're starting to feel, you've just lost your father. So you're starting to feel doubts in your marriage. You're starting to feel, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I want. Your spouse doesn't know this yet, but you're not feeling secure. You're at risk, and nobody knows it. Later, you exchange numbers and things, and you had a good time at the reunion. But now you start contacting each other on Facebook. And it starts in what it feels like an innocent way. So same dynamics could have been going on, and it could have been the same people in either scenario, and they were safe in one and not safe in another. So the question's vulnerability. If one or both people are vulnerable, one might be vulnerable just because they're available. Availability and vulnerability. One's available, one's vulnerable, or both are vulnerable. In vulnerable states in their relationship, and they strike up communication with each other at this time, and they might be taken back. But you can be friends with your ex-wife or ex-husband, but oftentimes there's even then a period between there where you have to let the animosity go away. You have to let the hurt or what may have been betrayal, but the breakup go away. And then you start up a friendship. And that friendship does not have to be a threat to your marriage. Right now, let's say, could he become a friend with this woman 10, 15 years down the road, let's say? I don't know. But it would be vastly different than him trying to maintain a friendship now. I get it. She's chosen to stay in her marriage. He's chosen to stay in his. And it happens. But they are still, she's enriching his life. It's still too close for comfort. It's still a danger. So it's not that friendship isn't possible. It's that if they're both in vulnerable states, and they're still in states of repair. So they're still in vulnerable states, and they're still so close to the betrayals that it's disrespectful and vulnerable. I hope that this clarifies it, and you can understand that a little better. If anybody else has any ideas or thoughts on the reasons these things can or can't work, add them to the comments. And I apologize for the banging, but my youngest is banging on the window wanting mommy. So I am going to sign off. I hope that this was helpful for everybody, and I'll see you all in the next question.